For more than 4,500 years, the Great Pyramid of Giza has stood in the Egyptian desert. It is one of the largest stone structures ever built, and yet, despite everything we now know about ancient Egypt, the pyramid still contains mysteries that continue to challenge researchers. Hidden spaces, mysterious passages, extraordinary precision, and discoveries made thousands of years after the pyramid was constructed. So how did the ancient Egyptians build something this enormous? Why was it designed with such incredible precision? And what could still be hiding inside? Here are 10 secrets of the Great Pyramid that still don't have simple answers. The first mystery is its original outer casing. When we see the Great Pyramid today, we're looking at something very different from what ancient Egyptians originally saw. The pyramid was once covered with smooth, polished white limestone. These outer stones created a bright, almost reflective surface that would have made the pyramid appear dramatically different under the Egyptian sun. Over thousands of years, most of this casing disappeared. Some of it was removed and reused in later construction, while earthquakes and other damage also destroyed parts of the outer layer. What remains today is the enormous stepped core beneath it. But one question remains fascinating. How did ancient builders place millions of stones while creating such a smooth outer surface? The casing is mostly gone, but traces of the original design still remain. The second mystery is the incredible precision of the pyramid. The Great Pyramid is enormous, but its builders weren't simply piling stones into a giant mountain. The structure was carefully planned. Its 4 sides are remarkably aligned with the cardinal directions: north, south, east and west. The pyramid's base is also remarkably level despite being built on uneven natural ground. And that's what makes the achievement so impressive. The ancient Egyptians didn't have modern laser levels, GPS, or computer-controlled machinery, yet they created a structure whose proportions and alignment still amaze engineers today. Exactly how they achieved that level of precision remains a subject of debate. The third mystery is the missing top. Look at the Great Pyramid today, and you'll notice something immediately. It has no pointed top. The pyramid originally had a summit, sometimes called a pyramidion, but that original top is gone. We don't know exactly when it disappeared or precisely what happened to it. Some theories suggest damage or removal over time. Others have proposed that the pyramidion may have been made from a different material or covered in something more valuable. But we don't have the original piece sitting on top of the pyramid today. So when you look at the Great Pyramid now, you're looking at an incomplete version of what the ancient Egyptians originally built. The fourth mystery is the Grand Gallery. Deep inside the pyramid is one of its most spectacular architectural features, the Grand Gallery. It's a huge ascending corridor with a high corbelled ceiling, and the remarkable thing is that this massive internal space was created inside an enormous stone structure without modern construction equipment. But its exact purpose remains debated. It leads toward the king's chamber. It may have played an important role in the construction process. It may have had an architectural function connected to the burial complex, or it may have served another purpose we haven't fully understood. We know what the Grand Gallery looks like, but exactly why it was designed this way remains uncertain. The fifth mystery is the underground chamber. Beneath the pyramid is another strange feature, a chamber carved into the bedrock below the main structure. It's often called the subterranean chamber. Unlike the king's chamber and queen's chamber, this chamber lies underground, and its unfinished appearance has created plenty of questions. Was it originally intended to be the burial chamber? Was construction abandoned there? Was it part of an earlier plan? Or did it serve a purpose we simply don't understand? The chamber doesn't provide an easy answer, and because so much of the pyramid's interior remains inaccessible or difficult to study, its original purpose remains uncertain. The sixth mystery is the Queen's Chamber. Despite its name, the Queen's Chamber was probably not actually built for a queen. The name came from later interpretation, not clear evidence that a queen was buried there. The chamber contains 2 narrow shafts extending upward through the pyramid. For a long time, their purpose was unclear. Were they ventilation shafts, symbolic passages, or something connected to ancient Egyptian religious beliefs? Modern investigations have shown that these shafts were deliberately constructed, but their exact function remains debated, and that makes the chamber one of the pyramid's most intriguing spaces. The seventh mystery is the four narrow shafts. The pyramid contains narrow shafts extending from its internal chambers toward the outside. Two are associated with the king's chamber. Two others begin around the queen's chamber. These passages are extremely narrow, and they appear to have been carefully incorporated into the pyramid's design. One traditional interpretation connects such shafts with the ancient Egyptian belief that the spirit of the pharaoh could travel toward the heavens. Some researchers have also investigated their astronomical orientation, but their exact purpose isn't completely settled. They may have had symbolic meaning, they may have had practical functions, or their purpose may have changed during the pyramid's construction. The strange shafts remain another piece of the puzzle. The eighth mystery is the hidden void. Now we reach one of the most important modern discoveries. In 2017, researchers announced the detection of a large, previously unknown void inside the Great Pyramid. They discovered it using muon tomography. Muons are particles produced when cosmic rays interact with Earth's atmosphere. They can pass through enormous amounts of material. By measuring how these particles move through the pyramid, scientists were able to detect an area where the density was different. The result was astonishing. There was a large empty space above the Grand Gallery. Researchers called it the Scan Pyramid's Big Void. But here's the mystery. What is it? Is it a corridor, a chamber, a structural space, or something else? Scientists know the void exists, but its exact shape, purpose, and accessibility remain uncertain. The ninth mystery is how the pyramid was built. This may be the biggest mystery of all. The Great Pyramid was constructed from millions of stone blocks. Some were relatively manageable. The builders had to quarry them, transport them, raise them, position them, and organize them into a structure rising more than 100 meters into the sky. And they accomplished this thousands of years before modern cranes and heavy machinery. We have several theories about how ramps, sledges, levers, workers, and other techniques may have been used, but there isn't one universally accepted reconstruction explaining every stage of the construction. The real mystery isn't whether humans could build the pyramid. They clearly did. The mystery is exactly how they organized such an enormous engineering project with the technology available to them. And finally, the 10th mystery. Why was it built like this? We know it was built during the reign of Pharaoh Khufu. We know it was part of a massive funerary complex. And we know the pyramid was connected to ancient Egyptian beliefs about death, kingship, and the afterlife. But the pyramid's extraordinary scale raises another question. Why make it this enormous? Why this precise geometry? Why these internal chambers? Why those strange shafts? Why the hidden spaces? Perhaps many of these features had practical or religious explanations that made perfect sense to the people who designed them. But thousands of years later, we are left trying to reconstruct their intentions from fragments, and that is where the mystery survives. The Great Pyramid isn't mysterious because we know nothing about it. In fact, we know an incredible amount. We know when it was built. We know who it was built for. We can study its stones. We can map its chambers. We can even detect hidden spaces without opening the structure. And yet, after more than 4,500 years, some questions remain. Maybe future technology will reveal what is still hidden inside. Maybe new discoveries will finally explain the pyramid's strangest features. Or maybe some of its secrets disappeared with the people who built them, because the Great Pyramid has already survived thousands of years, and somehow it still hasn't told us everything. Subscribe to Lost Timelines for more mysteries from history that still don't have an answer.